So we're Riley, Caroline,
Maya,
and Allie,
and today we're going to be talking about nuclear energy.
and why it's the best.
Like we mentioned earlier, today we're going to be talking about nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is defined as energy that comes from the nucleus of an atom. Nuclear energy is created in a power plant when they split an atom in a process called nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is where a neutron collides with a uranium atom, causing it to split and release a large amount of heat. They take the heat and use it to boil water. When the water is boiling, it creates steam that spins a turbine to generate electricity. When one uranium atom splits, it creates a chain reaction leading to many of the other atoms splitting. The first nuclear power plant was built in June of 1954 in Abascan, Moscow.
The Italian
Physicist
Enrico Fermi led a team of scientists that created the first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction. Marie Becquerel discovered radioactivity, which led to the further discovery of nuclear fission and power. Although the use of nuclear power isn't that popular, our job is to make nuclear energy a well-known energy source for all Americans. Nuclear energy is mostly used in the United States and closely followed by France. Nuclear energy is considered a non-renewable energy because it uses uranium, but is a recyclable energy and uses uranium very slowly.
Nuclear energy power plants can be pricey to make but can be cheap to work. Nuclear energy is competitive with fossil fuels, which means electricity generation. Nuclear reactors use the heat produced during atomic fission to boil water and produce pressurized steam. The steam produced is then routed through the reactor system and then spins a large turbine blades and then that drive generations to produce electricity. Nuclear energy costs $9 billion. The environmental impact of using and or harvesting nuclear energy is that nuclear energy produces radioactive waste.
Facts about nuclear energy. Uranium fuel pellet, which is around the size of a gummy bear, contains as much energy as 1 ton of coal, 149 gallons of oil, or 17,000 cubic feet of natural gas. The U.S. Navy uses nuclear power to operate submarine and aircraft carriers. The fleets include attack submarines (SSN), ballistic missile submarines (SSBN), and guided missile submarines (SSGN). These submarines use nuclear reactors to provide virtually unlimited range and endurance. The Navy also operates nuclear-powered aircraft carriers such as the Nimitz and Gerald R. Ford classes. This allows them to remain at sea for long periods of time without refueling. Nuclear energy is incredibly dense, so we aren't using as much energy as you think. All of the nuclear energy produced in the last 60 years from the U.S. could fit within a single football field, including the end zones, stacked about 10 yards high, or 30 feet. Safety about nuclear energy. Believe it or not, nuclear energy has the lowest death rate per terawatt hour. Nuclear energy is one of the safest energy sources when looking at the actual statistics. Compared to other energy sources, nuclear has the lowest death per unit of energy produced, even lower than wind and solar. If we look at the statistics, coal has around 24.6 deaths per terawatt hour, mainly due to pollution and mining accidents. Up next is oil with 18.4 deaths per terawatt hour. Next is natural gas with 2.8 deaths, then solar with 0.02 deaths, mainly from installation accidents, and finally nuclear is at 0.01 deaths per terawatt hour, even including Chernobyl and Fukushima. The second reason that nuclear energy is the safest is because it has strict safety regulations. Modern nuclear power plants have multiple layers of safety systems, including automatic shutdown mechanisms, reinforced containment structures, and passive cooling designs to prevent meltdowns. Now you're probably wondering about the Chernobyl and Fukushima incidents. Well, Chernobyl occurred in 1986 due to a poorly designed Soviet reactor with no containment structure and serious human errors that led to an explosion. Modern reactors cannot fail in the same way. And Fukushima occurred in 2011 due to a massive tsunami that knocked out cooling systems, leading to a meltdown. New reactor designs prevent this scenario. Now you're probably wondering about the radiation aspect. Well, radiation is actually overhyped. Coal plants release more radiation into the environment than nuclear power plants due to the radioactive elements in coal ash. And the average person gets more radiation exposure from bananas, flying on a plane, or living in a high altitude city than from a nuclear power plant. Now you're probably wondering, well, where does all this energy and waste go? Well, nuclear waste is actually very well managed. Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear waste is small in volume and safely contained in dry casks or underground storage. Future recycling technologies like breeder reactors could reuse spent fuels, making waste even less of an issue. Bottom line is, nuclear energy is far safer than coal, oil, or gas. With lower environmental impact and stronger safety measures than ever before, the risks are low and well managed compared to the massive harm caused by fossil fuel pollution and climate change.
Thank you for watching! Alias and Dinosaur Productions.
As I study uranium, I approve of this message.
Radioactive waste.
Physicist.
Physicist.
Okay.
What's good?
Mr. Linz approves of this message.
Okay, thank you.
No, I gotta do something.
Oh, okay.